All right, welcome back to another episode of the Game Breakers podcast. Today I'm joined by my guy Kamani. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good.
It's unfortunate that Lissy is not able to come today.
Yep, no Litzy today, so we only got two people.
Yeah, she told me that her dog Mango from Philly, they came over this week and peed on her laptop and it's not working right now. So
Her dog?
yeah, her name is Mango.
Yeah, so make sure to subscribe so we can get Litzy a new laptop.
Yeah.
But we'll make it work today. We got more coverage of the NFL and the NBA. So starting off with the NFL, we're recording this on a Friday. So we have the Thursday night game yesterday between the Vikings and the Rams. It was a good one between two of the better teams in the NFC with a bit of a controversial ending. Did you see that call at the end of the game?
I did see. He got his helmet snatched and that's an illegal play. I actually didn't know until like later on. But it was an obvious call, but the referees couldn't review it because of certain rules. Nobody threw a flag, so they weren't able to review or anything like that. But at the end of the game, they did apologize for it and did admit that they were wrong in that. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I don't think, even if they did call it, I don't think they're getting 8 points out of that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was tackled in the end zone.
Yeah,
They would still have to drive the whole field. And it's like, even if you do call the face mask penalty there, they got to go the length of the field to get a touchdown.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd be upset if I was a Vikings fan, but let's be real, like, you guys weren't winning.
No, the Rams deserve to win that game.
Yeah,
they outplayed the Vikings, who have been red hot this season.
Yeah.
They got their top weapons, Cooper Kupp and Nakua, back, and their offense looked drastically different. So I definitely think that was an impressive game by the Rams, and they deserve to come away with the win there.
I mean, yeah, like, having their two main offensive weapons back, I feel like that's really going to change how they're going to be projected for the whole season. I have some notes about that, too. I was saying that the NFC West is anybody's to take at this point because, the Niners have a lot of injuries right now. The Cardinals, they're good and bad in the same guy. They're very inconsistent. And Seattle has been playing good, but they're not untouchable right now.
Yeah, they're inconsistent as well.
Yeah, they're also inconsistent. So last season, the Rams finished 7-1 in their last 8 games with all of these players here. So I don't feel like they're not able to be at the top. But talking about that too, they have a first-round pick this coming draft, and they have 2 third-round picks. I feel like, because there's lots of trade rumors happening with Kupp right now. If you were the Rams, would you trade Kupp right now? But for what though?
I mean, I think just seeing how competitive they were last game versus Minnesota, I think it's hard to trade him because they're probably a team that thinks they can make the playoffs, and that's one of their best offensive players.
Yeah.
So whatever you get for him, which would probably be a draft pick, it's going to be a downgrade.
Like a third pick, yeah.
Yeah, for this current season.
I feel like the Buccaneers would be an interesting team to get him because, having 2 players out for them, 2 major players, I feel like they want to stay competitive. So having Kupp and giving up a third-round pick for that, I don't feel like, that's too bad. But if they're able to get, like, a corner, the Rams, you're able to get, like, a corner or, like, a speedy wide receiver, offensive tackler at safety, they could be a Super Bowl team next year.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely plenty of teams that could use Cooper Kupp, the Chiefs as well. They did just get
but
DeAndre
they did
Hopkins.
trade, yes. I know they'd do that again.
But, yeah, like, a lot of teams could use Kupp. I just don't think the Rams would have him available for trade, honestly.
I feel like it depends on what the offer is, but I agree with you too.
Yeah. So moving on to week 8 of the NFL season.
Yeah, week 8, yeah.
Almost the halfway mark. We do have, obviously they switched to 17-game seasons a couple years ago, so not quite halfway, but almost there. And we have some more good games this season, not quite as good as last week. Last week there were a lot of good games.
Yeah, I agree.
But we're going to highlight a few of these games. First one I have is the Dolphins versus Cardinals. So we finally got the return of Tua Tagovailoa coming back after the concussion. He missed 4 games, but he's back. And I think that's overall big for the Dolphins, not just the skill upgrade they get at quarterback, but the locker room morale.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill was very adamant this week saying that he's back. And
put me on the fantasy.
We're back, baby. Start me this week, baby. Let's go.
So he definitely likes that Tua's back.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals' defense has not been good this year, tied for 27th in yards allowed.
Yeah.
So I think Miami's going to come back strong with this new revamped passing game under Mike McDaniel and Tua, and they're going to torch this defense. According to Pro Football Focus, only one of the Cardinal defenders has a grade over 70.
Oh.
So they're really struggling this season.
Yeah.
I think Miami comes in with the win this week, they come in as 4-point favorites, and they'll ultimately get the job done.
Yeah, I agree what you're saying. I'm glad to see Tua's back. I'm glad to see how that game goes and the big difference between this game and the past several games that he's been out for. But players like Marvin Harrison, I believe, like he's been very inconsistent, not really been playing too well. So
Yeah.
there's also ifs and buts about the Cardinals right now, but a game can happen tomorrow. Or this Sunday, I should say.
Yeah, so moving on, we also have Bears versus Commanders. Now, this could either be a really good matchup or a really good matchup because Jaden Daniels hasn't practiced all week. I'm not sure if he practiced today, but
I know he's going to play.
yeah, as of Thursday, he hasn't practiced. He's currently nursing a rib injury, and he might be missing this game. So we'd like to see the battle between the two Rookie of the Year favorites in Caleb Williams and Jaden, but it's not looking likely. Williams has played better as of late, last 2 weeks. Over 500 yards, 6 touchdowns, just 1 interception, and they've won back-to-back games. So hopefully Caleb Williams can keep building off these performances and playing better down the stretch. And as for Washington, if Jaden Daniels is out, they're going to have to lean on that run game more. Brian Robinson Jr. has been very good this season. So I think they do have a way to win the game.
Yeah, I think it's very possible.
If Daniels is out, but the Bears' defense has been really good this season.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Last week's game against against the Panthers. I mean, it was the Panthers, but it's good to see that they were able to finish the game very strong.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gives them some momentum for this week to come against the Bears. A very competitive and uprising team right now, but anything can happen, like you said. So unfortunate that we won't see the two rookies playing against each other, but it should be a good game same way.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise is Chicago's defense this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they were looking pretty bad last season before that they made the trade for Montez Sweat. But this year you got a lot of breakout players like Javon Dexter on the defensive line. They're currently 2nd in turnovers per game forced and 7th in sack percentage. So that defense has really been carrying them so far, while Williams has struggled early on. All right. Moving on, we have a primetime matchup between the Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Always seems to be a good matchup until the Cowboys get blown out. But both teams are in need of a win. Cowboys are 3-3. The 49ers are surprisingly 3-4. They haven't had a good start to the year. Watch out for Juwan Jennings this week with Brandon Ayuk going down with a season-ending injury last week. And then Deebo Samuel and George Kittle are both questionable. So last time Jennings was the lead receiver, he went off for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think he could be in for another big week this year.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. It's unfortunate that the 49ers are losing so much key pieces at a time like this because, it's very competitive right now and you can't really be affording to lose these games. But, they can't really do anything about it, so they just have to step up and try to execute what they have.
Yeah, Dallas has to find a way to keep this game close because they need to lean on that run game more.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when they won versus Pittsburgh, Rico Dowdle had 20 carries for 87 yards. And then the last game where they got lost to Detroit, the game script kind of took the run game out of their game plan, and Rico Dowdle only had 5 carries for 25 yards. So if the Cowboys are going to win this game, they got to keep it close and run the ball. I think the 49ers are going to come away with the win, though.
I think so, too. I think so, too.
Any predictions? You were right about last week versus the Lions and the Vikings.
Let me tell you, I told Lissy, I don't make predictions. I just tell reality before it comes, bro.
Okay.
So let me tell you, Cardinals versus Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins versus the Cardinals. I got the Dolphins by 7. Who's did you talk about?
We had Bears, Washington, and
Bears
Cowboys, 49ers.
Give me Bears. Bears are going to win this one. And 49ers or Cowboys. You said 49ers?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Cowboys.
All right.
I want to say Cowboys.
What's
your prediction?
I think 49ers are going to win.
Okay. What about the other two?
I have Dolphins, and if Jaden Daniels is out, I'm going to say Chicago's taking that game.
Okay. Well, I guess it's just that last game then. 49ers versus Cowboys. All right, bet.
But yeah, there's a lot of other good matchups, so make sure to stay tuned this week. Watch the NFL. It's becoming competitive now, getting to finally see the playoff picture, what teams are looking like competitors, what teams are looking like they're looking for the draft already.
I feel like the season, like the most important games come after Thanksgiving. That's when everything really starts.
Yeah, the holiday season.
Yeah,
So like I said, with us reaching almost the halfway point in the season, we're also starting to see how these awards are panning out, especially big awards like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. But who's your early pick for MVP so far?
It has to be the man from Baltimore. Give me Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
He has been dominant every game. After those 2 losses.
Yeah.
But he was still pretty good in those games. But time and again, he's been making some amazing plays. That one play against the Bengals, I still think about that game all the time, bro. Like, that was amazing. He's been going against some of the other competitors like Josh Allen and Goff. So, like, he's just been head and toes above everybody else with that stuff. So I have to give him his shout out for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lamar's definitely probably a front runner right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do want to highlight someone, Jared Goff.
Yeah, he's one of my run-ups, yeah.
I think he's got a shot at the award for sure. I mean, if you look at the last 3 weeks, Detroit has more they have more points scored than incompletions over the last 3 weeks, which is crazy. I mean,
yeah.
Jared Goff is just seeing every defense. He's picking up the blitzes.
He's been playing amazing, too. Like,
last week versus the Vikings, I mean, Brian Flores tried to blitz him a lot, but none of it worked. Jared Goff was just picking that defense apart. So I think Jared Goff's really been elevating that Lions team this year. They look like Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I agree. And especially with the injuries that the Lions have been having now.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's been really staying consistent and giving them wins for that. But another run-up I had was Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his MVP case has been declining as of recently. But I still want to, give him some shout-out for that.
He did have a pretty big game last week, I believe.
Yeah, I think so, too. But he's been... I mean, he got dominated against Lamar. That's why I really don't have him much higher than Lamar or even Goff.
Yeah, that definitely hurts his chances.
Yeah, so losing those games to your rivals right there, it affects me personally. It's gonna affect how the sports media votes as well. But any shout out to the 6-0 quarterback? No.
See, that's the thing is like. There's no runaway candidates this year, and especially Mahomes, he's not even playing that well.
That's what I'm saying, but I can't give it to him, though.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't think he's even been the best player for the Chiefs so far.
Yeah, I agree. But my dark horse for MVP for this, give me Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Give me a running back, bro.
That's valid.
He's been a monster, bro. Like, giving a huge threat for Baltimore on the offensive end. He's averaging 123.7 yards per game, 6.5 yards per carry. We haven't seen his dominance from Henry at all, but I feel like he should really and truly have a good case for MVP. And obviously, I don't feel like this is a debate, but he should get Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But I want to see him in the MVP conversation as well.
Yeah, it's usually a quarterback award.
Yeah.
Like we saw last year, Tyreek Hill was in consideration for it.
Yeah.
If you're not a quarterback, you got to have an incredible season.
And I feel like he's doing that.
That's what Henry's doing.
Yeah, he ran like 2,207 yards and 17 touchdowns in 2020. But I feel like, and that's when he got Offensive Player of the Year before. But I feel like he's on that course to be doing the same thing, but on a bigger level as well.
Yeah, now the Ravens, obviously with the Titans, they didn't have the best record, but now on Baltimore, he's going to be one of the top teams in the league.
I agree.
So Henry's probably the leading non-quarterback with a chance at MVP.
For sure.
So, yeah, it is a tough race. Honestly, there's a lot of guys that could go either way, and there's 8 crucial games left to determine who jumps in front, who falls behind in those award races. So make sure to watch for that as we continue with the season. So welcome back to the NBA segment this week on the Game Breakers podcast, and finally have some NBA action back, huh?
I am so happy.
What do you think of the game so far?
Let me see. The first game was Celtics versus Knicks. It was a dominant performance. It was very unexpected. I thought it was gonna be a very close game, to the last. It
was looking like that early on.
And then Tatum just went nuclear, and the game was just history after that.
I mean, the shooting was ridiculous.
Talking about shooting, I got a police report on that same night about somebody missing, and then they gave me a flyer, bro. So I don't know if you can. Hopefully, you guys can see this, but. His name is Mikal Bridges, age 28, 6'6".
Who the hell changed his jump shot, man?
Bro, what? No, why? Why did he change it?
And he's been a good shooter in his career, and it's
not just his career, but also in college when he was at Villanova. Why did he change it? I have no idea. But
I mean, at least he got going a little in that third quarter. He had a few jump shots.
I guess, but
that first half, I mean,
that's not 5 first-round picks, bro. He's not.
Look at the assets they've traded to build this core, and it just looked terrible.
So hopefully I can't say hopefully because if that jump shot doesn't change, then it's gonna stay this. He's shooting like I don't remember the name of the center, but he literally shoots like. But yeah, like
straight line drive.
no, and there's like a terrible hitch on it now. It's just his arms are long, like, but it was good, like.
That's the thing. It looks even crazier because of his wingspan.
Yeah, so I really don't get why the change. And shooting wise, the percentages, like the speed of it, I feel like it's slower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's harder to block because of how high it is, but it's not gonna score. So why are you doing that? But yeah, I really hate it though.
That's the thing. We see a lot of players have kind of a different shot when they're shooting mid-range pull-ups and
Yeah.
threes, but he's just completely off the rail.
Different. But before we go to our predictions, I had this written down before it happened, but I was talking about Aaron Gordon and his contract.
With the Sixers?
Nah, Aaron Gordon, with the Nuggets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you and Lissy, what do you guys feel about the extension? Because he wanted 150 mil. And I'm saying if you were the Nuggets GM, would you be okay with giving 4 players a max contract?
I think you're gonna have to get rid of Michael Porter if you want to give someone else a big extension.
Yeah, I agree because with Christian Braun on the come up right now, and then Julian Strasser too, like you're gonna have to pay those guys eventually. And if you did give them those four max contracts, you're hindering yourself for a very long time.
I mean, not only that, but going out in free agency and getting new talent. Like we saw the team's lack of depth coming.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they can't even do that. Like they're gonna be getting Russell Westbrooks every single free agency. They're gonna be like the Suns did a good job this year, but the year before that, when they're signing everybody on a minimum.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, and just hoping somebody struck gold. Like, I mean, they're good at doing that stuff, but you can't keep.
That's not how you build a long-term success.
Yeah, I agree. But you know, he got a contract. I think it was. He gets like 35 mil a year, so it's way less than a max. So I'm happy that the Nuggets and Aaron Gordon.
No, yeah, that's not a bad deal for him.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, NBA action is back. We are a couple games into the season here, but we're gonna go ahead and give out our predictions for the awards early on. So we're gonna be going over MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved, Coach of the Year, and finally Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So let's start off with our MVP predictions. I think it could be a tough battle this year.
Oh, for sure. There's like 5-6 really heavy hitters for this.
I think the three-headed race, I think it's going to be is Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Luka.
Before you continue, we also have dark horses. So just to keep it quick, a dark horse is somebody who's not particularly always in the conversation, but if everything goes good, he can get the award. So
right.
It's something you be like, oh, that makes sense, but it's unlikely, but it can happen the same way. But yeah, I actually did not have Tatum in my top 5. Not because like you can see from the first game he's been playing amazing.
And last night.
And last night.
He had 25 and 3 quarters.
Yeah, he had like 11 rebounds too, right? But he's been playing dominant. But I had these notes from, like some like 3-4 days before, so it's fine. But just because the Celtics have so many great players,
yeah,
I feel like the social media and like how they vote aren't gonna credit him. I wish he did get it, but if I'm being realistic, I don't feel like you're gonna be giving him unless he really and truly shows that I'm number one. This is my team. Because you have people like Jaylen Brown, who's taking over. Like he should. He's a second choice and Finals MVP, but it's Tatum's team at the end of the day. So
see. That's honestly similar to how I felt at the end of last season. We saw last year the Celtics were the first seed by far, and Tatum didn't get the recognition at all.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it, honestly, because nobody respects. I hate it for him, but nobody really respects him. So,
but what we've seen this year is he's completely taking over. I think like he has been that clear number one.
Yeah,
so
he
far.
has. Yeah, he has been for sure.
And they're just blowing out teams. So MVPs obviously always goes to a team with a better record.
Yeah,
a leading player on that team. I think Tatum's got a shot at that.
Who was your prediction though? Who was first?
My actual pick is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Okay, so I also have Shai. Last year he was second in MVP, 7th in DPOY, which I didn't know honestly.
Yeah,
and
that's actually crazy.
And he was third in Clutch Player of the Year as well. He wasn't even on a defensive team last year. He wasn't on a defensive team. But
I mean, it is harder with the position list.
Yeah, but it's crazy. But they were the first seed last year. Shai is very efficient on both ends of the floor. He's the leader of a very, very young team. He's gonna have the love from the media, which I feel like Tatum doesn't really have.
Yeah.
So I feel like this award is his in the making, honestly, because of how perfect OKC, like they literally have everything,
Yeah.
and nothing can really go wrong apart from injuries, which I hope doesn't happen to him. But yeah, I feel like Shai is my front runner.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Thunder are just way deeper this year,
Yeah.
and I think that can benefit his playmaking, which
Mhm.
is like we know Shea's a great scorer.
Yeah, but his playmaking is not the best. But
Right.
with so much attention he draws and how much shooters that they have, kick out, that's like
Like he had 8 assists last night.
exactly.
So if he's averaging those numbers, I think it's clear.
Plus he's
right
like
away.
28, 29 points per game, plus the steals and the blocks.
And the
Like,
rebounds. He does everything.
yeah, but also I also have Luca up here.
Mhm.
Lissy also have no. She changed it actually. She has Tyrese Maxey for MVP.
For MVP.
Yeah, she told me because of Embiid and Paul George inconsistent with staying on the floor. She feel like Max will be able to produce about 36, 37 points per game, which is kind of crazy to
Prime
me.
Jordan numbers.
That's not like, but it's Lissy's list, so I feel like I believe her. I believe what she's saying.
Yeah, Litzy, you're gonna have to explain that one to us.
Yeah, so I also have Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just feel like Giannis is very upset with God knows who. But
Yeah.
he's always upset at somebody, and he's gonna come out and he has been already against the Sixers. But he's gonna be very aggressive and he's gonna be dominating the same way for the past 4, 5, 6 seasons.
Yeah. So you have SGA, right?
Yeah, actually, my runners are like Luka and Giannis.
All right. So yeah, SGA's are both our picks for MVP.
Who's your dark horse?
My dark horse,
Let me hear.
it's gonna be LaMelo Ball.
All right.
If,
All right, go.
if we look at the categories of the award MVP, it's usually given to, like we said, a team with a good record,
The Hornets.
the best player on that team,
Okay.
and like you said, the media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Hornets have a chance to be a playoff team this year. Can you agree with that?
No, I can't agree with that.
You don't think the Hornets can be a playoff
Top
team?
8?
Well, you can get the play-in at 10 and get in.
He's not getting no MVP. All right, well, all
It's
right.
dark horse.
All right, no, all right.
Listen, LaMelo's a flashy player,
Mhm.
and he quite literally does everything. He
Okay.
has the
I
numbers
agree
in the
with that.
assist category, the rebound category.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first game, he had 33 points, I believe. If
Yeah,
he's
he
averaging
went crazy against Toronto.
25 and a near triple-double,
Yeah.
those are the stats you need for MVP.
Okay.
And another thing is, I mean, again, with the Flash, he can change the media's narrative. Like, LaMelo's a popular face in the
I just
media.
hope he also he needs to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's got to stay
Yeah.
healthy.
My dark horse is John Moran.
That's not a dark horse.
See, it is like nobody's talking about him. But all right, let me
No,
tell
I
you.
was going to put him.
Oh,
But
for your
I was
dark
like,
horse?
okay,
Oh.
let me get someone more crazy.
All right, so Kalimala is actually that's like outer space shit. But
No, Morant definitely is a shot.
yeah, so Ja averaged 26, 8, and 5 2 years ago when he was actually healthy and stuff. Plus with the resurgence of the Memphis Grizzlies, led by Ja, I feel like he's gonna really and truly put them over the top. The thing is, like I already said this before, but the Grizzlies are in the West, though, which is very competitive. So I feel like that's gonna be a huge battle. But they were the second seed 2 straight seasons before that. So if they're able to keep that same standing with a higher production from Jaren Jackson Jr., the Bane, with Edie as well helping out, I feel like it's gonna be a very good case for Ja. Talking about social media, the past couple seasons, the situation and stuff. But I feel like
I don't know if he's got the media on his side.
yeah, but I feel like they still love him to an
Yeah,
extent.
yeah.
Plus, he's gonna be having highlight plays after highlight plays. Stuff is gonna change, and I feel like he's gonna be up there for sure. Plus with his assists,
Yeah.
having Edie have actual lob threat, having more shooting around him, I feel like it's a good chance for him.
Yeah, Ja was in the conversation last time he played a full season.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
All right, what do you want to do next? Defensive player of the year?
Yeah, I'll start.
All right, go ahead.
Give me Anthony Davis. He's my winner for this.
Mhm.
Reason being, he's one of the best defenders overall.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not really a shocker because he has no DPOYs right now, but I can't even say he deserves it because consistently with the Lakers, especially apart from the 2020 season, they haven't really been that good defensively. I feel like that's really what hinders somebody from winning DPOY.
Yeah.
And who doesn't? Last year, the Lakers were 17th in defensive rating, and I feel like that's, like I said before, that really hinders you. He was top 10 in contested 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and top 3 in contested shots overall. He contests. He's there. He does lots of dirty work. He does a lot of hustle plays. So the reason why I have him is because I feel like this year the Lakers are gonna have an actual identity on both ends because of JJ already, and then so I feel like this is a good chance for him to actually get that award.
Yeah. So my pick, another big man who is versatile on defense, Evan Mobley.
Oh, he's their winner.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually like that one.
I think he was top 3 last year.
Yeah, when Jared Jackson won.
2 years ago. So he's obviously up there year round, but. First game, he had 2 steals, 3 blocks going against Jakob Poeltl down low.
Yeah, he was he was killing it.
So I think especially because he's playing alongside Jared Allen,
like
that's a dominant defensive duo. And Cleveland's a good team. They're going to get a lot of media attention this year. So I think Mobley has the block numbers to do it, and he's got the flashy play style as a defender to do it. He can switch 1 through 5 pretty much. And, yeah, that's my pick.
I definitely agree. Some of my runner-ups, I have Bam, Wemby, and Rudy. Just like quickly, I'm not going to give it to Bam because I don't feel like Miami Heat is going to be on that level defensively as they usually were.
I agree.
You know, Bam is, of course, he's really good at defense. He's one of the, probably, if not the best versatile defender in the whole NBA. But, again, I just don't feel like...
Yeah, I'd honestly be interested to see the numbers game 1 versus the Magic. When Bam was in isolation versus Paulo versus Paulo on other matchups. Because when I was watching, like, I feel like Bam was playing good defense on him, but then you look at the stat sheet and Paulo has 30. So
exactly. Well, was he the primary defender?
They switched it a lot.
Okay, makes sense.
He was going at guys like Highsmith.
Similar to my issue with AD, but Wemby, outside of Wemby, you know, he's probably the best defensive player in the league right now at this point. But again, I'm not gonna have him winning the award because he's on the Spurs. Like, I don't feel like they're gonna be.
Yeah, the team defense isn't.
Exactly, and you need a good defense around you to elevate your game to get that award. And I also have Rudy Gobert. I mean, he's always gonna be up here, but I really feel like we're not gonna see him win another award anymore, because one, he has 4 already. I think that's the most all time.
Yeah, voter fatigue.
Yeah, not just voter fatigue, but I don't think nobody respects him anymore. And with the upcoming from Wemby, and you have Bam, and you have AD here as well, I think we're done with Rudy Gobert for DPOY, especially with the impact he's had, the little impact he's had in the playoff.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Mobley and Anthony Davis. Moving on to the dark horse, I'll start. I had Herb Jones, forward for the Pelicans.
Okay.
I think he's going to earn a lot more minutes in that rotation this season.
He's playing the 5.
That's the thing. I mean, he's got the versatility. He can effectively guard 1 through 4, and he plays a small ball 5 when he needs to, which is crazy. But he is 6'7" with crazy athleticism. And he can step in the perimeter and guard the other team's best player. Like, he can guard guards or forwards. So I think he's going to get a lot of recognition for that.
I mean, I agree. Zion didn't play last game, and Daniel Tice was starting 5.
Yeah.
But when Zion comes back, I don't know what's really wrong with him right now, because he's hurt the first game of the season.
Always.
But we'll see what happens.
I actually thought the backup big Misi looked better than
Tice. He's really good too.
He's active on defense.
My dark horse is Chet. Last night's game, I don't know if you saw the stats, but
Chet was unreal yesterday.
He was dominant. He looked like the best player on the court, and Jokic and Shai were on that court.
Yeah.
So I feel like Chet's gonna be very aggressive this year. Getting more. I think he's heard the noise about him not getting that much rebounds, and he needs to step up. So I feel like that's where he's really gonna take off. What's good about Chet is he's on the best defensive team in the league right now. So having J-Dub, Shai, and Dort from last year, plus you're gonna have Caruso and Hartenstein to help you defensively too. You're just gonna look way much better when you really get those highlights and those stats coming up.
No, and you look at Chet was shutting down Jokic for the fourth quarter of last game.
Yeah, he really was. He had like 16 points, something like that. It's crazy. Well, I mean, he had that triple-double, but I mean, you can't really blame him for that.
Oh, yeah.
Chet really did this thing against.
I think Jokic had 2 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I know because I bet his over on Prize Picks and it didn't hit. So.
Daniel, me too. Me too. I didn't put 20.
Dude. I had his over for points, rebounds, and assists, and he missed it by like 3.
Oh, for real?
Because Chet kept blocking him.
That's actually crazy.
So, yeah, Chet.
But, yeah, just one more thing. Chet was second in blocks last season with 190, and he was 15 points per game. Not points per game, blocks per game. So that'd be like with one of the better contesting big men. I just feel like that's number gonna increase. So he has a really good chance, honestly.
Yeah. So moving over, we're gonna do Coach of the Year next.
Okay.
Why don't you kick us off?
All right. So I have Joe Mazzulla.
Me too.
You
That's
do?
my pick, yeah.
All right. So the reason why I have him is because I feel like he was disrespected last year. The whole Celtics
He was
organization.
fourth in voting, I think.
Yeah, and he's the best, not the best coach, but he's the coach of the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you wouldn't give him last season because of how dominant they were. But for him, you can't blame him for being the coach for the best team in the league. Like, and even if they're the best team, he has a lot in that controlling
Yeah.
them. So they were first in offensive rating and net rating last season, and an all-time offense and defense, and you just can't give that all only to the players. Like, he was a big part of that, not just on the court, but in the locker room too. There's like 5-6 really good players on that team. Not every coach can control all of that, and that's why I really give him props for that.
Yeah, I had the same reasoning. I mean, like you said, Boston has an incredible roster, but we've seen teams in the past have great rosters.
And not doing
One thing is to be a good team. Another thing is to be the first seed,
and execute
breeze to a championship, and then you
Exactly.
come out this season and
the same thing.
they haven't even played their starters in 1/4 quarter.
Yeah, like,
because they're blowing
I
everyone out.
feel like that Knicks game, that first game was really a statement. I'm like, we're here again. Like, it's
Yeah.
the same thing from last year. So I really applaud him for that, and I feel like he really should get Coach of the Year.
Yeah, different level of dominance by Boston. We'll see if that continues.
You have a dark horse for this?
My dark horse is JJ Redick.
Me too.
Okay, so we agree on the Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you got a big culture change in LA. They already look like a different team, although it is one game, so
Yeah.
do have to halt the excitement. But they have a better offensive system. I feel like they're relying more on actions this year instead of isolation.
Which is so much better.
And they're getting different guys involved. Like, there are periods of game where they have Rui Hachimura run the offense or Austin Reeves run the offense, and that takes away pressure from guys like LeBron and Davis, which they're getting involved too. So, yeah, I really like his offensive change this year.
Yeah, I feel like Jay Redick gives them like a fresh breath of air, changing the whole offensive scheme and defensive scheme, and it really showed last game against the Timberwolves. So he's focusing on defensive adjustments. Anytime he sees something that needs to be changed, he changes it. His hands are outside of his pocket, Daniel. Like, he's actually
Pop up the picture of Marvin Ham.
he's actually what our coach needs to do. But yeah, it's crazy because he's making it seem so simple. And what I love about him the most, he's like a psychopath. Like, he really and truly looks at every single detail and be like, okay, this needs to be done. How can we correct it? And the plays that he's be running plays all the time. And I'm glad that having LeBron, the smartest basketball player of all time, on your team to control the whole offense,
Yeah.
both of them on the playing for each other, is really good.
And they have a lot of guys that can handle the ball and run it off.
Yeah, they really do. So, they're generating lots of open shots, a lot of open threes. It's just up to the Lakers players at this point just to hit them because they're like 15%.
Yeah, struggle with the
game.
shooting again.
Yeah, so hopefully that will change. But he's my dark horse. But JJ Redick was Lizzie's actual
Okay.
prediction. Yeah,
So we all agree on that.
yeah.
Moving over, let's go most improved player.
All right, so you start.
All right, I got Jalen Williams from the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
This was kind of a hard award because you got to pick a guy that's not already at an elite level.
Yeah.
And I think Williams is borderline. He was very good last year. But I think he can elevate that more and rise to like that all-star level player this
Yeah.
season, which is what we've seen in the past. Guys like Morant and Maxey have won the award
Yeah.
in similar fashion. Yeah, he's got a good situation around him in OKC, and I think he can increase that playmaking. Like we mentioned earlier, they have a better team this year. And, yeah, I think he's going to take a big leap forward.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I have a different Jalen, though. I have Jalen Green.
I was thinking about him, yeah.
So I feel like with Jalen and the Rockets, plus having his contract extended already, so I don't feel like he's pressured to be doing the most. Like, he knows that, okay, I have my money now. Let me just do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is very important for him as a season overall because he's able to find his role on the team. I think he's understand and accepted that he's not going to be the first option. It's probably going to be Sengun. So I feel like he's more comfortable in not overdoing it, but not underperforming at the same time. His efficiency and the growth of the team is what makes me think he'll be the most improved player. He just needs to be consistent and efficient because he's a very great scorer, but he is not always going in the net.
Yeah.
So with that plus the defense that they have, I feel like he's not the best defender, but he's very athletic, so he should really be doing that good. So I feel like all of those factors can really make him an MIP candidate for real.
Yeah, and an efficient Jalen Green is definitely an all-star level player.
Yeah, I agree. This is the first time, like, cause you mentioned it before, to get MIP, probably going from like a borderline star to an all-star
Right.
team, with people like Randall, Maxey, Siakam, all those people. But I don't feel like he's gonna get an all-star selection, but I feel like he's gonna be there though.
It's tough because there's so many good players, but
Especially in the West.
we can tell who's like at that level.
Yeah, I had Jalen Dub for a runner-up, like you mentioned before. I also had Kuminga, but at the same time, I really don't like it because his situation with the Warriors is
Yeah, I don't love that situation.
Yeah, I really hate it. But my dark horse is Julian Strawther from the Nuggets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so with KCP being gone, I feel like they really need a shooting guard or somebody to elevate their 3-point production and their defense and their points of attack on the defensive end as well. And I feel like he's gonna really be the person to take over that responsibility. But yeah, he's a very good 3-point shooter. He can hit 40% of his threes and play above average on the defensive end. And I feel like with the importance of what he needs to do for that team, the media will see that, and he has a chance about that.
Yeah, I like Strawther. He's a good player. I think he needs to get more minutes in the rotation.
I
He's
feel like he
behind
will though. For
Jamal
sure.
Murray, Braun, and Westbrook. So he's gonna have to battle for that.
I mean,
but
I don't know if he started last game, but
I don't think. I think it was Murray and Braun that
It was
started
Braun?
in the backcourt.
okay.
But yeah, he can definitely get hot from three. So and the shooting something Denver needs right now. So
And he's one of the best shooters, honestly.
yeah, my dark horse, is someone I've liked for a lot of years now. As long as he's been in the NBA, Trey Mann, point guard for the Hornets.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Yeah, he's been a good player on OKC. He's just never really gotten a consistent opportunity.
Yeah.
First game for Charlotte, he had 29 minutes where he scored 22 points. I'll go on a limb and say Trey Mann's one of the best shot-creating guards in the whole NBA. Like, his bag is very deep.
I can't wrong you for that.
He's very skilled. So I think he can rise and become a consistent starter for Charlotte or anywhere else that he goes next year.
Okay. Lissy had Eric Gordon for this award from the Sixers. She feels like because of the low production that he had on his previous teams, the Sixers are gonna have a good offensive scheme around him. She was saying that they're gonna build their offense around Eric Gordon. So,
Right.
I mean, very iffy pick, but
Age 37, Eric Gordon. Watch out this year.
yep. Shout out to Litsy.
All right, Rookie of the Year. Who's your pick?
I was Zach Edey. Who do you have?
Reed Shepard.
Okay. All right. I have Zach Edey because there's not much rookies that have a perfect matchup and position and role for our team. And I feel like Edey is there, like it's a match made in heaven. The Grizzlies need a center who is able to block shots and rebound. That's what Edey is, a 7'5", 7'6" big man who's able to do that stuff. Most of the rookies, like I said, aren't as polished or have a definite guaranteed role on their teams. And I feel like Edey's one of those small group of people that actually have it. And with the playmaking of Ja, the spacing of the Grizzlies overall, he should be able to put up some not crazy numbers, probably like 8 points, 6 points, and like 10 rebounds though.
I will say it was a tough start for the rookies so far.
Everybody.
No one had a big performance.
Honestly though, like Jalen Wells, I think his name is on the Grizzlies. He nothing crazy, but he look good though. But yeah.
Yeah, no one's really getting a lot of minutes either. I mean,
Yeah,
even the guys like
Dylan hasn't played it.
Yeah,
I was kind of surprising to me.
and Shepard and Reese Shea for the Hawks, I think they only got like 16 minutes each.
Yeah, and then Sarr didn't play that good either.
Yeah, Sarr was pretty bad. The shooting again, man.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Do you have a dark horse for this?
Well, I had Reed Shepard for the winner of the award.
Yeah, my bad.
I think, he does a lot for Houston. I think he's going to earn more minutes as the season goes on just because he can defend, he can play make, he can shoot. He showed little glimpses of it. He only had 5 points in the first game, but he did have assists, rebounds, steals. So he can do everything for Houston. And you look at Rookie of the Year, obviously not really team success. It's more overall production.
Yeah.
So I think Shepard can fill up the stat sheet.
Yeah, I agree with you.
My dark horse was Stephon Castle for the Spurs.
I like that.
And who's yours?
I have Dalton Connect.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Castle. We saw in limited time first game. He played.
Yeah, him too. But he played. I think he was one of the better rookies.
He honestly played a lot in the fourth quarter when the game was kind of out of
blow,
reach.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but he looked good.
He's getting his minutes. I feel like he's happy with that.
Yeah, he's an elite perimeter defender, which is what we saw out of college. So it's translating so far, and he's a strong finisher when he attacks the rim. So he can do a lot of different things for the Spurs.
Yeah. So I had Dalton Connect. Shooting is something that the Lakers really need, and he's one of the probably best shooters already on the team. I don't feel like he's gonna get lots of minutes at the beginning, but once probably injuries start to happen and like more game opportunities, I think JJ is gonna give him a lot of opportunity and see that he's able to really help the production.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a rookie, so he's probably nervous and stuff like that. But when he's able to cool down and actually like believe, I feel like he should be a good contributor.
All right, moving on to the last one is going to be Sixth Man of the Year. I have Naz Reid for this award. He won it last year.
Yeah.
I think he's going back to back. With the departure of Cat, he kind of is a Karl-Anthony Towns light.
I agree. Like, they're like the same build, same
So
mode.
I think they're going to rely on him a lot more this season.
Yeah.
He could close lineups. Like, if Julius Randle's playing inefficiently or if they need shooting over Gobert, I think Naz Reid could close a lot of lineups.
I agree.
And so, yeah, I think he'll get a lot of production this season.
I have Miles McBride for my prediction. From the New York Knicks, they traded DiVincenzo away to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and because of that, I feel like they don't have much offensive production. So I feel with Miles McBride being the main first option, the first option off the bench, he's gonna be able to generate a lot of points for them. Last game he had like 22 points.
Yeah, that's a great pick. He was a flamethrower first game.
I do expect him to have 22 every game, but I feel like he's gonna really do the Knicks justice when Brunson is not really, doing stuff.
The thing is, like, Boston is probably the toughest matchup in the league for a guard. And
I agree, yeah.
he's hitting tough shots, like step backs,
like,
pull up,
in the first quarter, he had like 12, 15 points.
and straight off the dribble 3-pointers. Like,
And you know what? I had his under. Bro, I'm like, wow.
McBride, if you're watching this, man.
But he's been thing there.
What did he hit the over in the first quarter or something?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he actually killed it. He killed it.
Yeah, McBride went crazy.
Yeah, so he's my sixth man of the year, but I also feel like he's also able to win MIP too. I just feel like there's just better options. That's why I didn't really give it to him. But he's my sixth man of the year though.
All right, and for the dark horse, I have guard from the Orlando Magic. Sorry, not Cole Anthony, but Anthony Black.
Oh, for real?
I think
Okay.
Anthony Black's taken over that role as sixth man for the Magic. Honestly, like he got more minutes than Cole Anthony.
Oh, last game?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cole
How does
Anthony
he look?
Cole Anthony had 0 points last game. Black had 10 points, I believe 4 assists, 3 rebounds.
Yeah, I actually love Black's game.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if you look at their lineup, they have a lot of big athletic players like Franz Wagner's
That's
starting
really
at the
hard.
three.
That's how they're making their future team.
6'11". Paulo's like 6'9" at the 4. And then you
Yeah.
have Wendell Carter. So I think they're going to work in Anthony Black with a lot of those lineups because he gives them that defensive versatility.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my pick.
My dark horse is Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I was thinking about him.
Yeah, so he struggled at the Lakers. He was doing good at the Clippers, but stuff weren't happening, and then so he went to the Nuggets, and I feel like the Nuggets are really able to use his playing style to Jokic's and the whole offense ability properly. They're playing him at like a forward position, I like the 3-4, which is very surprising, but it makes sense to me. He's able to give Jokic screens, pick and roll. Westbrook gets the ball, he can either score, kick out to somebody like a Michael Porter Jr. And it's a very good offensive scheme and very genius by Michael Malone. So yeah, I feel like Westbrook is one of the hardest driving players overall in the league, and he's gonna be able to produce some stats coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets that triple double though. I want him to get because he's at 199 right now. I want him to get that 200.
Oh, he needs 200?
Yeah.
Well, he'll definitely get it. I don't know. He needs minutes, though. That's the thing.
He does.
But he got a decent amount of run in the first game. I
Yeah.
think it was more than I was expecting.
Yeah. Lizzie has Jared McCain for this. She said that the way how he moves his hips in the TikToks, it's the same way he's gonna be able to move his hips on the defensive end, and I feel like that's gonna be the catalyst for his 6th Man of the Year progression.
No, that footwork can translate from the dancing to the court. That's
But yeah, so that's what Litzy has. Plus he can he's a very good 3-point shooter.
Are you on TikTok? Was that your?
Nah, that was my little dance.
That was your impersonation.
that was well, yeah, that's all I have.
All right, so Litzy's high on the 76ers. Look out for them this year. But those were our picks for the awards.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think. Let us know your predictions in the comments. And the NBA is finally back, like we said, so it's good to see some action. You know, I'm not very hopeful as a Heat fan. We didn't look great in the first game.
I'm happy as a Grizzlies fan. I am so healthy.
Grizzlies fan.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
But the NBA has looked pretty competitive this season.
There's a lot of really good teams.
Yeah, I was looking at even teams like Brooklyn and Atlanta, and
I'm not really counting them, especially like the West.
Not as competitors, but you look at the games.
Oh yeah. The West have like 10, 11 teams that can actually make the playoff.
Yeah.
So it's really scary. I want to see who's not gonna make it, honestly, but we'll see.
Yeah, so the NBA's been very entertaining this year. It should continue to be, so make sure to tune into those games, and we'll keep you updated as the season goes along.
Remember to give Litzy her money for that computer.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this week's episode of the Game Breakers podcast. Make sure to let us know what you thought in the comment section below, what topics should we cover in the future, and we're going to continue to keep you guys updated on both sports as the seasons go along. So we'll be back next week with more content and more updates.